Chapter 5. The brakes squealed, the horn blared. They skidded out of control, first to the left, then the right. Lauren glimpsed arms and legs flailing, flying through the air. She threw her hands over her eyes. Finally, the car screeched to a halt. Lauren jerked off her seatbelt, pushed open the door, and staggered out of the car on shaky legs. Please let her be all right, she prayed as she searched for the girl. Let her still be alive. Lauren heard someone laughing, teasing, throaty laughter. A girl. Lauren spun around and gaped at her stepsister. Regina leaned against the car trunk, laughing. Did you see her jump? Regina cried. The young skater stood on a lawn nearby, brushing herself off. You're all right? Lauren exclaimed. She rushed over and knelt in front of the girl, who appeared to be about 8. Are you hurt? I don't think so. Were you hit? The girl shook her head, then muttered, I'm sorry. Lauren threw her arms around the girl. It wasn't your fault. We didn't see you. Regina approached, and Lauren shot her an angry glance. Please don't tell my mother, the girl pleaded. She sniffled, but forced back her tears. She's always saying to stay out of the street. If she finds out... Don't worry. We won't tell anyone, Lauren reassured her. Of course not, kid. Regina cuffed her playfully on the chin. You did a great flip on those skates. I did? She gave a half smile. Like a pro? Regina turned to Lauren. Let's get going? I can't believe she's walking away, Lauren thought. She turned back to the girl. What's your name? Samantha? Sammy? Are you sure you're all right, Sammy? The little girl smiled and nodded. You better go home then. She gave Samantha a gentle nudge and watched as she skated gingerly down the sidewalk. Come on, Regina called from behind the wheel. You're lucky, Lauren declared, climbing into the car. Skill, not luck, Regina insisted. It's all in the wrists. Giggling, she started the engine. Lauren gaped at her in amazement. How can you laugh? You almost hit that little girl. Regina waved off the remark. Don't be such a wimp. She wasn't hurt. Regina stepped on the gas and pulled out into the street. You could have killed her, or somebody else. But I didn't. She gave Lauren a sly smile. Regina revved the engine, taunting her sister. Regina, don't. Don't worry. I'll drive just like Grandma. Regina hunched over the wheel and squinted. The car slowed to a crawl. You're terrible, Lauren muttered, trying not to grin. Hang on. Regina gave the Cataluna some gas. As the sports car lurched forward, she threw back her head and laughed. This car is fun. 5 messages on my answering machine? You left 5? Marcy, you're back, Lauren exclaimed. She flopped down on her bed and held the receiver against her ear. That's right, genius, her best friend teased. And I demand to know what happened worthy of 5 messages? Oh, I know. Regina's boyfriend got suspended again? No, that's about a 3-messenger. Ryan asked you out? No, that's probably a 6. You... I got a car, Lauren interrupted. Well, Regina and I got a car, she added, and I had to wait 2 whole days to tell you. Details! I need details, Marcy urged. It's a Cataluna. Never heard of it, Marcy replied. Me either. It's a sports car, white with a little red crescent moon on the front fender. Blood red leather seats, Lauren told her. I told you your horoscope promised a surprise this week. I have to see it. I'll be right over, Marcy announced. No, I'll pick you up. We'll go for a ride, Lauren answered. Great! Marcy hung up without saying goodbye. Lauren hung up the phone and grabbed her sweater. She hurried down to the kitchen and snatched her keys off the table. Where are you off to? Mrs. Patterson asked, glancing up from the salad she was making. To show Marcy the new car. She just got back, Lauren explained. Dinner's at 7. I'll be home by then, Lauren promised. She opened the door. Oh, Lauren, while you're out, would you pick up some milk? There's none for breakfast. It's Regina's turn to run errands, Laura reminded her. I know, but she's grounded. Robert caught her driving around with Justin when she told us she'd be studying at Darlene's. Regina had been spending even more time with Justin than usual, racing around in the Cataluna. Justinitis, Lauren muttered. Regina's got a fatal disease. What? Her mother asked. How much milk do you want? A half-gallon, Mrs. Patterson replied. Skim, okay? You got it, Lauren called on her way out the door. Lauren hurried to the driveway. She couldn't wait to show Marcy the car. She rounded the hedge and stopped. No, she whispered. No. Someone's stolen the Cataluna. Chapter 6. Lauren dived to the garage and hoisted up the door. No Cataluna. Mom, she screamed, running back into the house. The car, it's been stolen. Mrs. Patterson glanced up from the kitchen counter. Huh? Stolen? What are you talking about, Lauren? The Cataluna. It's gone. It's not in the driveway or the garage. Wiping her hands on the dish towel, Mrs. Patterson hurried out of the kitchen, down the hallway to Regina's room. She rapped on the door. Regina? Are you in there? Oh no, Lauren thought as she followed her mother. Regina's going to kill me. She must have sneaked out. Regina, Mrs. Patterson called again. No response. She pushed the door open. The room was empty. Mrs. Patterson crossed the room and shut the half-open window. I swear, Robert and I will have to put bars on this room. Don't be mad, Lauren begged, coming up beside her mother. I'm sure she had a good reason. A reason named Justin, her mother muttered angrily. Come on, Mom, you don't know she's with Justin, Lauren said. I don't? Mrs. Patterson pointed out the window. Lauren peered out onto the road. The Cataluna stood parked halfway down Fear Street. Justin climbed out. He leaned back through the window and gave Regina a long kiss. Then he waved and ran off. The car started forward and turned into their driveway. Lauren felt sick to her stomach. If I'd kept my mouth shut, Regina wouldn't be in trouble, she told herself. I'm such an idiot. How could I have thought someone stole the car? Mrs. Patterson opened the window again, then backed across the room, waited with her arms folded across her chest. Lauren retreated to the doorway, watched in silence as her stepsister appeared at the window. Regina pulled herself over the windowsill, into the room, and found her mother standing there. Mom? She stammered. She scrambled the rest of the way into the room. I needed a notebook from Darlene? Don't make it worse, Regina, her mother ordered. I saw you out there with him. She motioned to Lauren. We both did. But you don't understand, Regina protested. I understand perfectly. Now, here's something for you to understand. I do not want you to have any contact with Justin Norris. But, Mom, it's not Justin's fault I sneaked out, Regina pleaded. You never acted this way before you started going out with him, her mother replied. I don't want him coming over here. I don't want you driving around with him. I don't want you talking to him on the phone. That's so unfair, Regina wailed. Was it fair to climb out the window when you were grounded? Was it fair to lie to me? Mrs. Patterson didn't wait for an answer. She turned and strode out of the room. Lauren stepped inside and quietly closed the door behind her. She'll get over it, Reg. You'll probably be able to go out with Justin in a few weeks. You know how she is when she's mad. Regina's eyes narrowed. Don't pretend to be sorry it happened, you filthy little snitch. Her lips quivered with rage. Excuse me? Lauren cried. Mom said you were staring out the window at me? Regina shouted. What's the matter, Lauren? Unhappy because you don't have a boyfriend of your own? Shut up, Regina. Shut up. No, that's it, right? You don't have a boyfriend of your own, so you spend all your time spying on me with mine? Have any nice fantasies, Lauren? Fantasies of Justin kissing you instead of me? You know that's not true, Lauren protested. Get out of here, Regina yelled. I can't stand the sound of your voice. I can't stand anything about you. Regina pulled open the bedroom door. Leave? She shoved Lauren out, slammed the door in her face. Lauren unhappily trudged to her own room. She shut the door and dropped down on the bed. What's wrong with Regina? She asked herself. She should know I wouldn't try to get her in trouble. I covered for her when Justin left his backpack in the living room. I've covered for her lots of times. Lauren flopped back on the bed. I didn't do anything wrong. Why do I feel so horrible? She rolled over onto her side. A picture of the two of them stood on the nightstand, both 8 years old, both in their little bridesmaid dresses for their parents' wedding. Lauren felt so happy that day. She had hated being an only child. She remembered dreaming about having a sister. She thought it would be like going to a slumber party every night. And sometimes it was. She and Regina talked about all kinds of stuff. Guys, parents, school, everything. Sure, they had had fights before, but Regina had never been so cruel, so vicious. What is wrong? Lauren wondered. Why is Regina acting so strange? Regina, slow down, Lauren pleaded. Give me a break. I'm not going that fast. Lauren glanced at the speedometer. Only 45. What should I do? Regina muttered under her breath. What should I do? About what? Lauren asked. About Justin, Regina snapped. He's always pressuring me to sneak over to his house. Lauren checked the speedometer again. 50. If I don't find a way to go out with Justin, he'll start dating other girls. I know it. Justin's not the type to stay home by himself. Regina pushed down on the gas pedal. This whole thing is your fault, Lauren. Why did you snitch on me? Regina, I explained it to you. I know it sounds stupid, but I really thought someone stole the car. Her sister snorted and rolled her eyes. Yeah, right? Lauren sighed. I should have checked your room before I said anything to Mom. I should have, but I panicked. Come on, I already apologized. What do you want from me? Regina ignored her and pushed down on the gas pedal. I want you to stay out of my life? Fine, Lauren replied coldly, but you have to slow down or we're not going to have a life. Regina pushed down on the gas pedal. What's wrong with you? Lauren shouted. You never used to drive like this. Regina laughed. It's fun, something you don't know anything about, Lauren. A tricycle rolled into the street. Lauren frantically grabbed the dashboard. A little boy in bright red overalls ran after the trike. Stop! Lauren shrieked. She tried to grab the wheel. Regina laughed. She spun the wheel hard to the right, aimed straight toward the bike. Stop! Lauren screamed out the car window at the boy. Stop, stop, stop! But the boy came running after his tricycle. Lauren shut her eyes as a sickening crack shook the car. Chapter 7. Regina slammed on the brakes. Lauren spun around. The little boy knelt beside his mangled tricycle, crying but unhurt. Regina laughed, her eyes flashing with excitement. You're crazy, Lauren shrieked. You deliberately... What are you talking about? Regina grinned at Lauren. That trike rolled right out in front of us? Yes, but... We'd better get out of here, Regina warned. I think the kid's mother is on her way. Regina jammed the gear stick into first and stepped on the gas. The car roared away, tires spinning, kicking up a cloud of smoke. What's wrong with you, Regina? Lauren demanded. The kid's okay. He'll know better than to push his trike out into the street next time. Regina snickered to herself. Lauren turned to the passenger window. She couldn't believe what she'd heard. It isn't funny. You could have run over that boy. Last week you almost hit that skater, and all you can do is laugh. How can you think it's funny? It's not me laughing, Regina claimed. It's the car. Excuse me, the car? Yes, the radio. Don't you hear that girl on the radio? She's the one laughing. Lauren glanced at the radio. Off. Something's very wrong with Regina, Lauren thought. Is she cracking up, having some kind of breakdown? Pull over, Regina, she ordered, shaking her head to clear it. Let me drive. Regina didn't even glance at her. Lauren leaned over and grabbed her arm. Get off, Regina snapped, slapping away Lauren's hand. Stop, Lauren demanded. Leave me alone. I'm driving this car, Regina screamed. Okay, Lauren said soothingly. It's probably more dangerous to try and make her stop, she thought. Regina threw back her head and laughed. So cold-hearted, so cruel. Lauren shivered. I'm afraid of her, Lauren realized. I'm afraid of Regina. I'm afraid of my own sister. Lauren drove slowly past the North Hills Country Club. The wind swept back her brown bangs. She felt the tension of the past several days fly away. She and her sister had barely spoken to each other for a week, since the day Regina ran into the trike. That horrible day, the day Lauren realized she felt afraid of Regina. Lauren found herself watching Regina all the time now, studying her. Questions constantly ran through Lauren's mind. Is Regina sick? Should I talk to Mom and Dad about her? Or will that only make things worse? One question returned again and again. Is Regina dangerous? Let's go faster, Lauren, a voice cried. Now I'm hearing things. Lauren shook her head and concentrated on the road. Come on, let's have some fun. A girl's voice, soft but excited. Regina, is that you? Lauren asked. Is this some kind of trick? She glanced at the passenger seat. Empty. She peered over her shoulder into the back seat. Empty. Let's move, the voice urged. Lauren twisted the knob on the radio. Off. It's easy. Just push your foot down on the pedal. Who's there? Lauren cried. What do you want? Step on the gas, Lauren. Let's have some fun. Part 3. West Hampshire Colony, 1698. Chapter 8. William forced himself not to think about the hunger gnawing at his belly. He did not know when he would find food again, or how he would catch it with only the knife tucked in his belt. He had slowly recovered from the venom of the snake bite, from Catherine Hatchett's dark magic. It had taken several days, days of fever and chills, days of frightening dreams. Finally, the fever had departed, leaving him weak but eager to continue his quest. For 3 days he had been pursuing Catherine west. following the paw prints of a cat. He had eaten nothing but a few pieces of dried beef, drunk nothing but drops of dew captured on leaves, and then the trail ran out. So did his food. Would my father and brother want me to spend my life tracking this creature? He asked himself. If I find her and kill her, they will still be dead. But William knew that he would never find peace until he destroyed Catherine of the Moon, Cataluna. How could he make a life for himself, knowing her evil continued killing to live? William lost track of the days. Occasionally, he came upon a stream where he eased his thirst. His only food, nuts and roots. Days became weeks. Leaves withered and fell from the trees. The frigid wind blasted down on him. Heavy clouds threatened snow. William grew weaker. Not Catherine's magic this time, he told himself. Death. Death stalked him, and he knew it would catch him. He would die if he did not find shelter before the first snows arrived. The storm struck without warning. It began with lightning and rain, sheets of hail that gashed his face and hands, then silent, blinding snow, drifting piles of deadly white. William staggered onward. When he could walk no more, he dropped to his knees, crawled through the drifts on all fours. He rolled onto his back and stared up at the hazy, snow-swept sky. Sleep, he thought. I must sleep. Sleep will bring relief. His vision grew dark as a shadow passed over him, the shadow of a cloaked figure. Death? He wondered. The figure pulled back the hood of the cloak. William gazed up at an angelic face. If this is death, let it take me, he thought. Are you all right? A voice called through the whipping wind. Not the voice of death, the voice of a girl. Gentle hands lifted his head from the snow, rubbed his cheeks to bring back the warmth, the life. You must get up, she urged, tugging at him. Who are you? He stammered, trying to focus on her. Evie. My name is Evie. Don't try to talk. Save your strength. We must bring you out of this storm. He struggled to his feet, felt her arm wrap around him as she helped him through the drifts. The flickering lights of a farmhouse grew closer. At last the door opened and he stumbled inside. The blast of heat made his head spin. His legs grew rubbery. He sprawled forward onto the floor. Evie, he whispered, as the world went black. William awakened to a beautiful vision. What a wonderful dream, he thought. A girl gazed down at him with large blue eyes. Her skin soft and clear, her hair the color of spun gold. Are you feeling better today? The girl touched a moist cloth to his forehead, patting it tenderly. Where am I? He stammered, trying to lift his head. Rest easy, William, she said soothingly, urging him back against the pillow. My name. You know my name? She smiled. You spoke it many times in your sleep, and that of your brother Joseph. His memories rushed back to him. The murder of his father and brother, the search for Catherine Hatchett, the mysterious girl who saved him in the storm. Evie, he whispered, Joseph is dead. My father is dead. A tear fell from the corner of her eye. It hit him on the cheek, warm. Where are we? He asked the girl, who appeared to be a year or two younger than he. My father's farm, near Woodsbridge. My father's name is Henry Mason. How long? William swallowed hard. How long have I been here? 2 days. You had a fever, but it is almost gone. Try not to speak. You must rest and have something to eat. I will bring you some hot soup from the fireplace. She turned to leave, then paused. Would you bring it for me, Jessica? She asked. William gazed beyond the fair-haired girl to the one named Jessica, a little older, 17 or 18 perhaps, equally beautiful, with olive skin and dark brown eyes. A few stray locks of black hair spilled from beneath the white cap she wore low on her forehead. The cap was securely held in place by ribbons tied in a bow under her chin. The dark-haired girl nodded. She left the room, pulling the doorway partly closed. That is my cousin, Jessica Mason, Evie explained. She came to live with us, now that her parents have passed away. I hope she is not sorry. Sorry? He asked. Evie nodded. She only recently arrived. She does not talk much, and she always appears so solemn. I think she expected it to be a bit more comfortable here at my father's farm. She gestured at the room with its bare walls and modest furniture. Things used to be better, Evie continued, but we have had some bad luck these past few weeks. Father recently returned from Woodsbridge. He had to sell many of our possessions. William felt a stab of fear in his stomach. He remembered the burned-out crops and carcass-littered fields. He remembered Catherine. The door pushed open. William expected Jessica to enter. No, he whispered. A large black cat padded into the room. It rubbed itself against Evie's long skirts, purring contentedly. Then it noticed a stranger on the bed. Its purr became a low growl. William stared as the creature edged closer to the bed. It arched its back slightly. The fur over its spine bristled. The cat gazed up at him with strange, curious eyes. Not the eyes of a cat, the eyes of a girl. Chapter 9. William Parker and the cat stared at each other, a contest of wills. Soon William's vision clouded over. He felt dizzy and feared he would faint. Where am I? He thought. Back on the floor of that abandoned farmhouse? A rotting skeleton lying beside me? Catherine glowering at me with her evil Cataluna eyes? Evie Mason's voice cut through the fog in his mind. Sweet, angelic music. There, Raven. Be friendly to our guest. Bending down, she scoops the cat into her arms, stroked its long black fur. She is a bit of a loner, but she will not harm you. William blinked to clear his vision. When he glanced back at the animal, it seemed quite ordinary, with ordinary green cat's eyes and a soft purr. My imagination is running wild, he thought. These days I find monsters everywhere. That is better, Raven, Evie cooed. She placed the animal on the floor and patted its back. Yes, you are a strange one, Raven. At least we do not have to worry about mice with you around. William watched the cat rub itself against a leg of the bed. Then it strutted regally across the room. At the doorway, Raven gazed at him a final time. She cocked her head and almost seemed to smile. In her purr, he thought he heard a voice. And then Raven disappeared. In her place stood Jessica Adams. She cradled a wooden bowl in her hands, steam curling above it. Lowering her eyes shyly to avoid William's, she handed the bowl to Evie. She whispered something, too low for William to understand. Do not worry, I will let the soup cool a bit, Evie replied. But please do not wait for me. You and Father start your supper before it gets cold. Am I keeping you from supper? William asked. He eased his legs over the bed and sat up. Oh, William, do not get up. You really should be resting. It has been so long since someone felt concern for me, William thought. I feel fine, he assured her. Really, I do. A bit hungry is all. A deep voice boomed from the doorway. So, I find our visitor has awakened. William lifted his gaze to a short, powerful man, his hair blonde like his daughter's. He did not smile, yet a touch of merriment twinkled in his eyes. Father, this is William, Evie said. She turned back to William. I am afraid we do not know your last name. Parker. William Parker, he replied. Pleased to meet you, William, the father said jovially. He crossed the room and shook his hand. I am Henry Mason. I suppose you have been introduced to the girls. William nodded. We are about to sit down to supper. Will you join us? Evie laid her hand on her father's forearm. Perhaps William should be resting? He seems fit enough to me. Are you, William? Yes, I feel fine, and I would enjoy the company. I have spent too many days alone. Henry clapped him on the shoulder. A bit hungry, I would bet. One of Evie's suppers will mend that in no time. Evie's expression betrayed her concern, but then she nodded. Yes, William, it will do you good. Jessica stood in the shadows, neither smiling nor frowning. Shyness, no doubt, William told himself. But the pleasant smiles of the father and his daughter were so warm, so inviting, he felt immediately at home. At last he could rest, forget about his quest, forget about Catherine, if only for one night. He gazed up at Evie and grinned. I would love to have supper with you, he exclaimed. I have not had a good meal in a long time. I am afraid all we can offer is simple fare, Evie apologized. Our pantry is not what it used to be, Henry admitted, but Evie can turn a single potato into a meal fit for a king. She will make some man a good wife. William noticed the way she blushed at the compliment. He turned away so that she would not be embarrassed. But he could not help thinking about life with a girl like Evie, a life filled with warm smiles and laughter, a life not devoted to revenge. I will have to get dressed first. He glanced down at the bedclothes covering him. Everything has been washed, Evie assured him. She gestured toward a chair. His clothes sat there in a neat pile. Then I will join you in a few minutes. Henry Mason led his daughter from the room. Jessica followed behind them. William caught her stealing a glance at him. He smiled to put her at ease. She quickly lowered her gaze and scurried away, closing the door behind her. That Jessica is a quiet one, he thought. Evie, he sighed, enjoying the gentle sound of her name on his lips. And then his jaw tightened. His eyes narrowed in anger. No, he told himself, The only girl I should be thinking about right now is Catherine Hatchett. His hand clenched into a fist. Catherine, cat of the bad moon. But the image of Catherine faded into one of Evie, a girl so caring, so beautiful. He had forgotten that such beauty still existed in the world. He whispered her name again and smiled. William pushed his plate away. "That is the most delicious meal I have had in a long time," he declared. Their supper had consisted only of some thin vegetable soup, a small piece of beef, and a slice of bread. But Evie had prepared it with a tasty assortment of spices and herbs. "Delicious," Henry Mason exclaimed, patting his belly. "Don't you agree, Jessica?" The black-haired girl shyly lowered her eyes and nodded, her face hidden in the shadows of her cap. William thought it strange that she had not removed it during the meal. She did not speak a word during the entire supper, William realized. No, longer than that. Not since the moment I met her. "You should be back in bed, William," Evie insisted. She began to clear the table, and Jessica rose to help. "I feel fine," he insisted. "Really, I do." "Then perhaps you will join me for a walk," Henry suggested. He crossed to the door and put on his jacket. "Yes, I would like to view the farm." Henry handed him his coat and led the way outside. The sun had almost set, but William could still make out his surroundings. Not an inviting sight. A blanket of snow covered the ground. Broken branches littered the yard, the work of the storm, no doubt. A horse stood tied to a post. He nibbled on a few stray weeds he had managed to uncover, but his ribs stuck out. He appeared not to have eaten in weeks. "Oh, he has been fed," Henry commented, noticing William staring at the animal. "But he has trouble keeping things down. The flesh will not stay on his bones." "Getting old, I suppose." "Only 3 years old." Henry shook his head sadly. "It is something else. A curse, no doubt." "Curse?" William asked. "That is what I call it. We enjoyed fine weather all season, but the crops started dying. Then the cow and chickens. Then Charlie." "Charlie?" "The best farmhand I ever hired. He began to sicken. About a week ago he died. Yes, exactly a week. I remember Jessica arrived 2 days earlier." He strode toward the field, William at his side. "Jessica, she is your niece?" William asked. Henry nodded. "My brother Jacob and his wife both died suddenly. Jessica is all they had, so I invited her here." He frowned. "I did not expect her to be full grown. You had not seen her in a long time." "I had never seen her. Jacob lived in Philadelphia. I have never been south of New York. I knew she would be near 17, but somehow I expected a little girl." "Does she always wear that cap?" William asked. Henry nodded. "I have been wondering the same thing. She will not take it off, ever. Claims she feels more comfortable with it on." Henry stopped and faced the house. "Enough talk of the girls. I brought you out here to ask a question." He clapped his hand on William's shoulder and gave a squeeze. "Certainly," William replied, feeling slightly uncomfortable. "What is it?" "Evie is a wonder. Ever since her mother died, she has taken up the load and done a fine job. But this is a farm, and a farm needs men to work it. I cannot do it by myself." "It must be hard without Charlie." "Not just Charlie, Burgess too. My other worker saw what happened to Charlie. It frightened him. He disappeared the other night. Now I am working the place alone." He gripped both of William's shoulders and stared him in the eye. "You do not appear to be the kind of lad who frightens easily. Am I right, William?" "I would like to think so," he replied, standing a little straighter. "Then stay and work the farm with me. I cannot pay much. In truth, I cannot pay anything right now. But you will have a roof over your head and some food in your belly." William hesitated. He had reasons to stay. He felt Catherine's presence nearby, and he wanted to spend more time with Evie. "Do not decide this minute. You need to rest a few days. Then you may give me your answer," Henry told him. "I will give it careful thought," William told him. "That is all I ask." Henry clapped him on the back again. "We had best be heading back. The girls will be wondering what has happened to us." Later that night, William lay in his dark room. He listened to the wind howling outside, thought of the fierce winter storms that rolled through the West Hampshire colony. "Henry Mason makes a tempting offer," he told himself. This would be a good place to spend the winter, a place to rest before resuming the search for Catherine Hatchett. If indeed he needed to search any further than this farm, William could not shake the troubling feeling that Catherine lurked nearby. He recognized her handiwork in the dying crops and sickly animals. He sensed it in the fear on Henry Mason's face and in the eyes of Evie Mason's black cat. "Is that you, Catherine?" he asked himself. "Did you take the form of Evie's cat and bring your evil to this farm?" I have a responsibility to the Masons, to Evie. Did she not save me from the storm, from certain death? When William thought of Evie, his heart raced. He had never felt this way before. Something stirred within him, something wonderful he could not name. Do you want me to stay, Evie? He whispered into the darkness. Is that what I should do? William drifted off, half asleep. He thought he heard the door creak open. Something clicked across the floor. William opened his eyes. Before he could sit up, the creature leaped onto William's face. Thick fur covered his nose, his mouth, his eyes. He could not see. He could not breathe. William gasped. The fur filled his open mouth. I can't breathe, he realized. It's going to suffocate me.